Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to Negro Jump podcast. Yes, that Negro Jump podcast, better late than never. Your host, Jarrod Fortune, is here. I am here to inform you on some anime news topics that I saw in the last couple days. Figured I'd share it with you guys. I'm going to try my best to not catch my breath or take sips of water. Moisturize my mouth. Pause for those who listen in the Northeast. Pause, because it does. You know when you get one of those like noises in your ear and you're like, oh, like yeah, you just it makes me cringe when I'm editing. So I'll be mindful of that. But thank you again for listening. Please rate, subscribe if you haven't already, wherever you listen to this podcast. It is audio only right now until I get my studio situation squared away, as always, but no longer restricting myself. Again, restricting myself, and I hold myself accountable with depending on camera work when so many people still listen to this podcast enough to see a couple of dollars of a payout. Not to say that you guys are here strictly for money, but the goal for doing this podcast, along with still performing in stand up comedy, is to build an audience via the internet and then be able to monetize off of it to then keep creating and performing for this audience that I am growing virtually and live in person. So, again, appreciate y'all. Tell your friends about it too. Let them know that Negro Jump is back. Audio though, so the real podcast listeners, not the Instagram reels, TikToks, and Facebook videos, reels, scrollers. Like, yeah, I see your podcast all the time. It's like, but you didn't listen to it. So technically, the 8 clips that I released was roughly what at a minute and a half each. So 12 minutes. 12 minutes of most of them being at least minimum 45 minutes. 12 minutes of a minimum 45 minutes maximum. We've done like almost 2 hours before. That's not the podcast. It's not. I genuinely do want you to listen to it. I have gotten into that part, that side of the podcasting world. But enough of all of that. Let's get into today's topics. Now, to prepare for today, because I did not release the episode yesterday, and unfortunately Shan was not available to record today. I took it upon myself to watch some animes, which we should just knock those out right now, just to because I started with One Piece and then I figured I should watch more because there wasn't that many headlines that jumped out at me to report on. That doesn't mean that the news is dry for the world of anime. It's not. It's definitely not. Definitely check out the sources: Crunchyroll, Anime News Online, Japanese Entertainment Fusion, the JEF blog, RIP Geki Dan forever. But first, I recently saw One Piece episode 11D. 11D70. That's what I said. 11D70. 1170. Epic describes Elbath so far. Super, 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 super epic. Epic, epic. I see why now the style change, the way that battles are carried out, all of this was it didn't feel rushed. It was a good progress step as far as like the intensity of the battles that they will be a part of. You will be fighting this guy for several hours. And you might not even truly win. But yeah, it's looking crazy. The fact that Luffy had to bust out Gear 5 already with somebody, and then the guy just threw his hands up. That guy being Cabin, I think he's the left arm. of Gold Roger. Said this motherfucker was the Mountain Slayer, and he was definitely manhandling Luffy to the point that Zoro had to jump in, and that don't look good. Zoro got to jump in. He was like, "Well, I can't let you lose, because then what am I here for? Why am I following you?" Which he's brought that up several hundred episodes ago. So the epicness in One Piece is amazing. I'm currently 3 episodes behind. Can't wait to see how this season, that's weird to say, how this season of One Piece will wrap up. Seasonal One Piece is crazy. My Hero Creator, this is coming from comicbook.com. My Hero Creator has new manga set to release August 10th in Japan. The manga is called Don't Laugh Shijime. It is a boy meets girl horror story. Now, the guy that did the Boy Meets World superhero story / X-Men in Japan, well, in the world, but let's focus on the school. It's pretty cool to switch up the genres like that so suddenly. And let's see how many characters they'll limit themselves to making important in this show. So, next up, Akira Toriyama has been inducted into the Eisner Hall of Fame, joining Devilman creator Go Nagai. Akira has been inducted in the Voters' Choice category. Now, what is the Eisner Awards? I did not write that down when I should have, so we're going to figure out what that is. What are the Eisner Awards? I think it's just for all media. Explained. This is AI from Google. The Will Eisner Comic Industry Awards are top honors for creative achievements in American comic books. Okay. So strictly a comic book award. I thought it was like media, but either way, shout out to Akira Toriyama. May you forever rest in peace, good sir. Good Lord. To have a product like his, to have an idea like his that inspired and captured millions. Dragon Ball is generational. Crazy work. Crazy work. Next up, there is a new manga being adapted called Millennium Family, serialized in 2021 in the magazine Shonen Gahosha, Gahosha, Gahosha. Here's a brief description of it. 7 immortal siblings born in England possess humanity's ultimate dream, eternal life, but their gift makes them targets for the criminal underworld, corrupt hospitals, and international military organizations. Wow. Premiering on TBS, not that TBS, the Tokyo Broadcast System television. No release date yet, but it sounds pretty cool. Baki spinoff story, Baki Gaido. Retsu doesn't mind even if he is reincarnated into another world. That is right. The insane world of Baki transported one of its most deadly and skillful characters into a magical isekai. Spinoff is receiving a stage play. That's how popular it's gotten. Somebody greenlit that. They was like, yes, we want to see you showcase ultimate violence to these magical characters. Brief description. Following his spoiler, Retsu is reincarnated in a new world where magic exists and embarks on new battles. So I'm assuming he's fighting dragons. That's cool. Debuts March 19th, through the 22nd next year at the Owl's Pot Theater in Japan. So if you're planning trips next spring, check out Baki Gaido Retsukayo. Don't mind, even if he is reincarnated into another world. Nice. Next up, we got reincarnated in a mafia dating sim. This anime is being announced. Here's a brief description. When the granddaughter of a Yakuza boss is reincarnated as Francesca Calvino, the heroine in a mafia dating video game by expert. Oh wait, hold on. I'm butchering all this shit up. Hold up. Cursing at myself. This dude needs to be fired. Take it from the top. When the granddaughter of a Yakuza boss is reincarnated as Francesca Calvino, the heroine in a mafia dating video game, she expertly navigates the game's main story by I tried to abbreviate it because it was like a chopped up. I remember now why I wrote it like this. So let me break it down and just go off of Cliff Notes. Well, apparently I just left for myself. So this girl was already a mob boss's daughter. She was the daughter of a Yakuza, and she gets reincarnated into a mafia dating sim game to where she uses her life experience to easily navigate the game, to which she has to fight like the suitors who are after her heart and hand in marriage. So there's that. Different, but yeah, another isekai. Just like the first on my list to get this watch list started. See, like that juke I did. I talked about One Piece because that was the first thing. I just kept on going. But yes, I recently just watched Jack of All Trades, Party of None. Watched the first episode of that. That's been sitting on my watch list for a time now. Quite a time. It has been sitting on my watch list. It is a very much so an isekai. It gives me Rise of a Shield Hero vibes, being that the main protagonist, what's this dude's name? I think I even wrote it down. Oren. He was a swordsman with his best friend in a village. They went on to become warriors and adventurers. They formed a mighty legendary guild that did the ultimate dungeon crawl. They were called the Heroes Guild. And they catch us up with all of that while Oren is being kicked out of the group because they say he's too weak. And he argues that, I changed my role. I was originally a swordsman, and I took a step back to be an enchanter to play the major support role that this team needed. But they didn't see that because it was like, you're just too weak, and we got a better enchanter than you. So they pretty much just told him to kick rocks. Now we see him just pretty much getting the EXP, fighting like rats in dungeons just to build himself back up. He gets visited by a former companion from his old guild days, or like not companion, but I don't even think they were a rival guild, but just another faction. She recognizes him, was like, we need your help, I'll pay you for the job. He tries to be humble about it, and she's just like, nah. Like, you can definitely help us out. Even the old man at the end, he's like, I can't even sponsor you anymore because I'm not technically a part of the Heroes Guild anymore. He's like, I don't care. Go live your life, man. Go do your thing. Like when Unc give you the life talk, it was just like, go do your thing, bro. Get out there. You know it's time to make some decisions. Next up, I watched Prince of Tennis. This was a rewatch, technically. This was a rewatch. I had episode 1 on DVD years ago from my first subscription to Shonen Jump. I say my first like I had multiple. My first and only subscription to Shonen Jump. Shout out to the aunts. But yes, Prince of Tennis episode 1. This time I watched it subbed. Did not realize how much of an effect this sub gives to shonen to make them really sound like kids and children because dubbed, all I'm hearing is teenagers. Like the kid Rio, he is like in the dubbed, he sounds like a teenager, but he's in elementary school, if I'm not mistaken, elementary or middle school in U.S. terms. But I remember the match where he just was just wiping the floor with him. In Japan, of course, he's talking cash shit. Even when a dude just flagrantly fouls him with his racket, he tells him like, "Yo, your swing is still weak." Like, while blood's just trickling down his face. Beats him. Then he's just like, "I could play more games," and then switches to the left. He's like, "Yo, I got an ambidextrous flow, so I don't have to write." Shout out to Lil Twist. uh, good watch again. We'll see how it fits in a rotation with the sports anime. Because now I'll be currently watching 2 baseball, 1 football, and now tennis. And if the Red Dogs anime comes out, it's a wrap. It's over. Next up, I watch Robotics Notes. So this was interesting. There's 2 characters you are introduced to. They are in the Robots Research Club. In school, part of the Robots Research Club. They are the only 2 members left, and they are currently working on a proposal for a bigger budget to finish their project. What is their project? A life scale size robot from an anime called Gun Barrel that is now a very popular video game. That so happened one of the 2 characters being, go to my notes, Kai. Just casually beats who online in an online versus match? One of the creators. Well, excuse me, not one of the creators, the creator of the video game. Think it gets accused of cheating. He blames it on being ranked so high and waves it off as nothing. And you find out later on in the episode that they're building a robot that he was piloting in the video game. So, interesting start. They legit show them going up to the principal to convince her, like, please give us this budget. She was like, "You're back again. I don't want to do it." This time she actually budgets and says, "There's two things that I'm asking for." I believe she asked for better behavior. It was either from them or from like other students, maybe a part of the club, like influence better behavior. And then the other was to enter a tournament that we find out in the next scene is in actually 2 weeks. They got to enter a tournament with the unfinished robot. So should be fun. Should be fun. Next up, Gunslinger Gilr. Finishing up episode 2. Gunslinger Gilr. Wow, what a sad, depressing show. Sad, depressing show. So sad. Shot like that. The whole White Room nonsense with Black Widow. That's the vibes I'm getting for this whole show, and it's to the point that everyone like the episode, the girl Harriet from episode 1, who shot up the room full of thugs, dudes that needed to be killed. She took a hit when she wasn't supposed to, and the mission was dubbed like roughly accomplished. She takes it personal because of the prep that went into getting her ready for this mission, which involve all of the tests and surgeries and training and just everything that goes into training a child assassin with no emotions. So pretty intense, but the fact that the people around her, even her handler Jose, makes an attempt to see what he makes an attempt when he sees that she is truly bothered with not being perfect. So he tries to make her feel as human as possible. Notice I said not child, but as human as possible. So yeah. Okay, episode. I'm a little nervous to get into this one because it is again a show about child soldiers, and the music is it's sad, like Bleach, sad discovery moment, sad. So like the keys on that Bleach one specifically sound like teardrops falling. Next up, last but not least, City Hunter episode 14. This was a show I was putting on in the background while I worked on different projects, whether it be Negro Jump or another podcast or content thing. I'll put it on in the background as like a Scooby Doo type cartoon feel, even though it's not dubbed, but it is episodic. So it's just case of the day, and it's just going about like that. It's a goofy cop who is not only just lucky but extremely skillful with his magnum. So, and also too has a extremely high pain tolerance to the point where he'll shoot through his hand to protect the civilian, which is courageous. But then at the same, like they'll show him seconds later in agonizing pain. So shout out to that guy. Can't wait to at least get to, let's say, at least episode 50 because there are multiple seasons. It went on for so long. I'm mainly watching it from previous guests, Kiara, not Black Kiara, uh, Japanese Kiara, Asian. I think that was her name, Kiara. I don't not remember the name of the guest, but I'm watching it because she grew up watching City Hunter, and it's a few. I think there was a new iteration of it a few years ago. I know there's been two. It's been two live action adaptations. One with Jackie Chan forever ago, and a new one on Netflix that came out at least like 3 years ago. But yeah, that is it from me, guys. I appreciate you checking in. I will be dropping another episode at least by the weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna just drop one ASAP tomorrow afternoon for the East Coast listeners. Just to continue on this journey of multiple episodes a week. Lock myself in and start just watching anime. Like people thought I was turning my brain to mush with TikTok. Oh boy, I'm about to go crazy on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll and DoorDash. Nah, I ain't gonna go that crazy. Crunchyroll and DoorDash. Nah. I'm in my 30s. If I was in my 20s, oh my You talking no energy welcoming woman around me. You would be saying all the time like, dude, but you look pretty good, man. It's just like, nah, I don't think you understand, bro. Like I just watch anime. Like y'all confused. Some people be confused now. Here I am open up on the podcast. People get confused now. It's like, yo, what you mean you don't be having like a gang of girls around? It's just like I just don't, man. Like I'm more interested in just chilling. That's about it. Such a homebody. And I learned that from who? My grandmother. Shout out to the grandmas, just like Tenno Soji would. Shout out Kamarada Kabuto. Shout out to the listeners of the Negro Jump podcast scattered across the planet. I see you, two listeners in Japan. Shout out to y'all. I think there was one in Vietnam too. But yeah, the Negro Jumpers are worldwide. I will continue watching anime, looking for more recommendations to give to you guys, along with securing actual studio space that will not be my apartment. Hopefully, I pray. I do not want to go for that, but if push comes to shove, which I was prepared to do it, so be it. So I'll be checking in with you guys another time. Please rate and subscribe, send a message. Continue listening to the Negro Jump podcast. Follow us at Negro Jump on any platform. Check us out.
Tell your friends about it. Send me some recommendations. Do a Common Writer kick to your boss. Peace.